Hey there, welcome to 2 for Tuesday. I'm Mo McClanahan and I am the Director of Education and Training for Safe Surfing Foundation. I'm also an investigator with the Christiansburg Police Department where I work internet crimes against children, and I've been doing that for the last 8.5 years. And we decided to create 2 for Tuesdays in the hopes to be able to really give parents some peace of mind and really continue to educate and give you tips on how to better safeguard your kids while they're online and how to just protect them from online dangers and really just create better choices and educate them on what's really going on out there. We know that after COVID hit and kids were coming home from school and everybody being given a Chromebook, then they were online a whole lot more, and us parents were still working. And so a lot of time to really put into understanding some of the dangers when you really hadn't had time to make the decision to give your child access to the internet really, just didn't happen. And so we put this together to come live every Tuesday to really share some tips and give you some peace of mind of when it comes to just having these hard conversations. So today I wanted to talk about these conversations. Yesterday we shared a post on having those conversations with your kids. Depending on their age range, you can find some tips on some conversation starters and really how to keep the topic age appropriate. And that way it just gives you somewhere to start, somewhere just to open it up and allow your child to understand that, hey, I can come to my parents about this. We had this conversation and it's something that's going to be ongoing, right? So tonight, I wanted to share a topic on having those hard conversations with your friends and your loved ones. I recently had somebody reach out to me and ask me for advice on how to approach the subject of a friend of theirs who was sharing photos of their children partly dressed. And though, children at young ages can be in different levels of nudity and it not be considered any type of child pornography or child sexual abuse material. But then there becomes a level when it does. And so this person that came to me was just concerned about the age of the children and how much was being shown through social media. So the pictures and their lifestyle at their home is more than appropriate. The children were between the ages of 2 and 6, and they were females and they were not fully dressed. And so the friend was super concerned about how do I approach my friend to let her know that yes, your account is private, but those pictures can really get in the wrong hands, and how to not come across a certain way that would possibly create tension in the friendship, and so that the friend knows that she comes from a good place and just wants to be able to, talk to her about it. And I too have had some of these conversations come up as well with my own friends. And I think it's a little bit easier. It's still difficult, but it's a little bit easier for me because I can tell them about some of the cases that I've worked, what I've found on some of the child predators' computers after doing some of our forensic downloads, which I do in my office. And so I can give them a little insight of what's really going on in the mind of a child predator. And so with this friend, I did refer her to an article that the Child Rescue Coalition actually put out. I believe it was a couple years ago, but it has really stuck in my mind, and it's been really helpful to share with others instead of having it be our voice, and that way it's kind of coming from a third party. And really what their campaign was at the time, and I really did participate in it also, is that you pause before you post. And you really start thinking about not only the hashtags that you're using when posting about your children, but also the content that is involved, and educating the parents what predators are looking for on social media when it comes to very innocent events in our child's life, very innocent photos that can really be misconstrued for evil. And some of those things to think about are potty training. So a lot of times people don't want to talk about this, but when it comes to a child predator, they have specific fetishes, and potty training could be one. Another one is, just the partially nude. So even when we give presentations and a parent asks the question, what about my child that's in the bathtub that I'm just celebrating their first bath, or you can see parts of their body that are exposed. Is that considered illegal? Which it is not considered illegal, but I start seeing it through the eyes of a predator, and to me, that puts your child in danger because they can become the spotlight for that predator. Now, a lot of people keep their accounts very private, or only friends of friends can see it. But you have to remember that we don't always know who is the predator. There's no stereotype. There's no, specific signs. Nothing that we can predict this. And so, I just encourage you to pause before you post and really think about, is this an image that when my child is older, that they are going to feel good about being on the internet? And even though that's really hard to think about, because we're trying to celebrate our child and we want to share that with family and friends, especially now as we are all social distancing. But in the realm of everything, I can tell you that the predators are even more targeting our children, because they know they're, one, online a whole lot more right now, and two, we're with them all the time and other family members aren't seeing them, so we're going to share more and more on social media. So again, I just want to encourage and really extend that campaign that the Child Rescue Coalition shared a couple years ago of just pausing before you post, and just educate yourself and be aware of what the child predators are really looking for. And though what you're doing is not inappropriate, it's not illegal, but it can affect you and your family, depending on how much information is really being put out there. And I touched on it a little bit, but another thing to think about are the hashtags that you're using. So if you are using specifically potty training or bath time fun, stuff like that, then I can guarantee you that the predators are inside those hashtags, and they are just waiting for you to post your little one in there so they can use it for not so happy things, and it can really target your child. I know that's not happy news, but I want you guys to know that I'm here to really shed light on the truth of what's going on, and I see it behind the scenes inside my investigations, and it's reality. And so I want to make sure that I'm here giving you some clear tips and really great action steps to move forward and things to think about and be aware so you can better safeguard your family. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you too have a family or friend that you aren't sure how to have that really tough conversation, then I encourage you to share this broadcast with them. And if you ever have questions, make sure you send us a DM and we will make sure that they get answered, or we use it as a topic in our next 2 for Tuesday. I hope this is helpful. Hope you guys are having a great week and that you join me again next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Take care.